When we talk about human rights, where do those rights come from? First and foremost, they are inherent to who we are as human beings. They are considered fundamental to our ability to live lives of dignity. But these rights have also been articulated in a number of international and regional instruments, including the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, known as the UDHR, which was ratified in 1948, and the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, the ICCPR, which was ratified in 1976. The UDHR is binding on all member states, and the ICCPR has been ratified by 173 countries. When the UDHR and the ICCPR were drafted, the internet as we know it today didn't exist. So how do these treaties actually protect internet freedoms? In short, they say nothing about the internet. However, the drafters inserted enough flexibility into the text so that the provisions would be relevant across the world for all time into the future. This includes the new evolution of technologies. At ICNL, we focus on the rights that impact civic space and the ability of civil society to function effectively. These rights include the right to freedom of expression, the right to peaceful assembly, the right to association, and the right to privacy. Let's examine the text of the right to freedom of expression, which is found in Article 19 of both the UDHR and the ICCPR. It says, quote, "Everyone has the right to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas through any media and regardless of frontiers," end quote. By inserting the words any and regardless, the text encompasses all present and future possibilities. It doesn't matter what medium our grandparents used to express themselves, or what tools our great-great-grandchildren will use to access and share information hundreds of years from now. The principle remains the same. The text articulates that the right to freedom of expression, however, is not absolute. International human rights law allows governments to restrict expression and other rights related to civic space, but only when certain factors are met. 3 factors to be precise. And we call these factors the 3-part test. It's a test because if any one of the factors are not met, then the government has violated the right. The 3 factors are legality, legitimacy, and proportionality. Let's talk about the legitimacy factor first. This factor requires that the government's restriction be necessary to achieve a legitimate purpose. The legitimate purposes are specifically listed in Article 19 and other provisions of the ICCPR. They include the rights and reputations of others, national security, public order, public health, and morals. Before discussing the next 2 parts of the 3-part test, the following slides will explain the legitimacy standard and circumstances in which they do and do not apply.